One of the most shocking things that we've all experienced in Mumbai in the monsoon of 2026, and it isn't even a full monsoon, is the absolutely record breaking number of trees that have got uprooted or that have just fallen. This may be well over 1,000, in fact, even close to 2,000. To understand what the reasons are for this and then to zoom out from there to get a sense of the green cover in Mumbai. I'm talking to Stalin of the NGO Vanashakti that has done a lot of work and tremendous amount of work over the past few years in advocacy, in dialoguing, and even seeking legal remedy when it is required. Stalin, is this shocking, the number of trees that have fallen in 2026, or were you expecting this?
It is not shocking. We had predicted this 10 years ago. It's a miracle that the trees survived for 10 years. We had put out a report in 2015 where we studied about 1,900 odd trees across the city of Mumbai, starting from Kolaba right up to Dahisar. And we had submitted a report saying that these trees are in a precarious condition, you need to help them. Then, when we did not get a response from them, we moved the Honorable National Green Tribunal and we sought remedies from the court. The court ordered that the action must be initiated and the trees must be freed from the concrete. But they did not bother. What happened after that, especially in the last 3 to 4 years, which has hastened this fall, is the maniacal concretization which they undertook, the drive. It was as though that whatever is visible to the eye must be covered with concrete. That was the approach of the BMC. And there was no reason for them to do so.
You said 10 years ago you did this study where you sort of knew that we would be confronting this situation sooner rather than later. What was the trigger for that study?
See, we found that a large number of trees were drying up. These are the rain trees.
Yeah.
And these trees are the most preferred ones for the roadsides, right from the times of the British, because they grow fast, they have dense canopies.
Yeah.
So these were the trees which were preferred. So we saw these trees die. And initially citizens started complaining, then we went in. The first line of thought was that maybe there is an insect which is killing it, which was true also. But then we were not convinced with that the insect
was the only reason.
Yeah, it's the only reason. What was triggering it, we went down to search for it. Then we went and surveyed it in detail and we realized the concrete was choking the trees and preventing them from getting any kind of nutrition or moisture or water. At that time the footpaths were tarred.
Yeah.
Despite the tar, the trees were somehow trying to survive by pushing the tar up. But against concrete, it was a losing battle. So eventually these trees succumbed too.
So, the current BMC Commissioner, Ms. Ashwini Bhide, has been quoted as saying it may be a sweeping statement to attribute tree fall incidents solely to concretization. They are pointing in the direction of really strong winds on those particular days of July, the 3rd to 6th of July that we are looking at, where the maximum number of trees fell. So, are you 100% sure it is concretization and not a cocktail of reasons where concretization is also plays a large role?
More than sure.
Okay.
Not reasonably sure. We are more than sure. We've done the research.
Right.
We won't make random statements without a basis on it.
Yeah.
Ms. Bhide needs to have taken a step back and said, okay, let me get a proper investigation done, call some scientists, ask them to submit a report, maybe take 2 weeks, visit the site themselves with the scientists, without your bureaucrats who are influencing you. Without them, go down on ground and see it with the scientists. They'll tell you what's the fact. And we've never taken a confronting position against anything. We are always ready to work with them. In fact, we did this spraying of pesticides on the trees at Bandra, Mahim, some places, because they felt that it was the reason. So we said, okay, fine, we'll try and do that for you, and we did it at our cost. And we still, it didn't work. For some days, it was like sort of reviving, but then again it would get the same thing used to happen. So we were convinced that's not the reason. The worst rains we saw were in 2005.
Yeah.
26 July.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a date recorded in history. And that day, how many trees fell? Will the BMC come out and tell you? Not even 1/4 of what fell today. There were strong winds. There was a 1,000 millimeter of rain which came down. Nothing happened. Because trees are not designed to fall. They are designed to withstand the winds. What has caused that imbalance? Why are they just toppling over? You need to understand. It's like if I tie both your legs and keep you standing and push you, you're going to fall. And you need to keep your legs at a distance of each other to balance yourself. That's what the tree roots do. They go out from all sides and they are prepared for any eventuality. I'm not saying that trees don't fall naturally in nature, but not at this level. If you go and check in the Sanjay Gandhi National Park, even when there were typhoons, cyclones, not typhoons, cyclones, even then
we
the
had
number of
Nisarg,
trees,
right, a few years ago.
Yes, and even then so many trees did not fall. So it's a combination of what you call the concretization coupled with a lack of mud at the base. If there's no food, how is any living being going to survive? I visited the site where the child, unfortunate death of
in
the
Chembur, Vihaan Shrivastava.
So I went on site because the clean sheet was shocking. And there was nothing different from what we had said. It is the same case across the city. So we still stand by it. We are ready to prove it scientifically. It is basic science that trees need soil and space to grow.
So what has this concretization policy that the government has undertaken, and it has to do with the roads, right? Why has this concretization encroached on the little area around trees? Explain how this has fallen out in your surveys that you have done. What have they done? We know that they are concretizing roads for the traffic to move on, right? How did this concrete get onto the trees?
We need to go back in history and see, not very far, maybe 20 years ago, we had roads with huge trees on the footpaths and space to walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next to the tree. There used to be vendors sitting under the trees, people sitting under the trees.
Yeah.
But what happened when the roads got widened? That footpath went away. And the concrete started increasing and closing in on the trees' boundaries. Now from the other side, the footpath, whatever was created or what was remaining, was also concretized. So the tree was left in no man's land. If you see, many of Mumbai's trees are standing in between the footpath and the road.
Yeah.
And next to the tree, where the footpath was, below it is the stormwater drain, where the rainwater goes out. So there is empty space next to the, behind the tree. So it can't go anywhere. So you sort of surrounded it, choked it from all sides and left it helpless. So it is somehow trying to stand, and the BMC realized that they had goofed up on this. So what they decided, to reduce the load on the tree so that it doesn't fall. It doesn't catch wind. So they just started chopping it off mercilessly. Against which people are screaming hoarse over the last 5-7 years that don't chop the trees so mercilessly. But the real reason is they are saving their own skins. Because the trees fall, people die, then they are answerable. Now interestingly, the BMC sends out a circular before every monsoon to the housing societies, telling them that there are big trees in your compound and if you don't trim them and if it falls, it will be your responsibility. Now, if it falls on BMC property, who is responsible? Show me one case where BMC stands up and accepts it's made a mistake. We are all human. Let us admit our mistakes. So that don't try to cover up. If you lie once, you will have to invent 100 lies, which Madam has got into. She's got into a cycle, now she has to keep defending it. Interestingly, she sent a circular out after the death of, unfortunate death of Vihaan, that 0.3 meters space must be left next to the base of big trees. 0.3. And 1 meter next to the small trees. It should have been the reverse. Exactly. It came to your mind. I wrote a letter that this is unscientific. Please recall it. Plus, she, as a knee-jerk reaction, said, remove the concrete. I said, don't do that. Whatever is remaining will also start falling. Reviving each tree is going to be a Herculean task. It will require a lot of money, a lot of scientific observations. You will have to do step by step from one side, keeping the support at all times. And I don't see BMC having that kind of commitment towards the trees.
No, not at
So
all.
we suggested to them that you do one thing, you create proper tree basins of 2 meters each. So I'll come to that later, but I'll explain. So when this road started closing in, you take a look at how the roads are made in the city. Ideally, you have to scrape off everything which is below and then start laying a fresh one. But in Mumbai, what was done, there was tar. On that tar, they again laid another layer. Then they laid concrete. Then they laid another layer of concrete. The result is that the 3 to 4 feet height, the height of the road has changed. So the 3 to 4 feet of the road which has increased the concrete pillars around the trees. And interestingly, there is no soil at the base. There is no connection. The tree and the earth are disconnected.
My God.
That is the problem. See, trees have two kinds of root. One is the tap root and second is the lateral roots. Even for the tap root to go down, there is no space because the base is somewhere in very much away from where it should be, and there is concrete even below it. Because when the roads were surfaced, they did not ensure that the connection is maintained, that there is mud somewhere down for the tree to reach out to. There is nothing. You've sort of cut it off from every
any
possible
sustenance,
source.
right, for
Absolutely
itself.
Nothing. It has nothing to look forward or to anchor itself or to feed itself. Nothing was left.
Do you have a sense of how many trees we've lost in the first few days of July in 2026?
It's 1,860 if I'm not mistaken. It's around that figure and
So
close to 2,000. Yes. And it will increase. The ones which survived the first round of monsoon are still waiting to just topple over. See, what is happening is there is no soil like I mentioned, and whatever water is accumulating below the roots is causing it to decay. The roots have completely decayed. At Chembur, it was like sawdust when I just started pushing this thing, and I saw fungus infected sections of the root, which is a clear indication that they have been in water for too long. So there is no drainage of water also. Even in your house plants, if you pour too much water, they will die.
Correct.
More water is not good for the tree. It needs to drain out also. That's why if you see, even in flower pots, there are holes below it which allows the excess water to come out. So that is not provided for these trees. And I don't call it an act of God. This is deliberate. Because see, if you are warned, if you are told, there's a court order. There is a court order from the Western Zone. There is a court order from the National Green Tribunal, Delhi, the Central Principal Bench. And you are completely unaware what's happening. Now,
I mean, we have statements saying that they'll now reach out to experts and arborists. I mean, this is, how old is the BMC? How old is the civic administration of the MMR?
How much money does it cost you to keep a permanent arborist on board?
I mean, it sounds...
Every time you have to reach out.
They seem shocked with the number of trees that have fallen. And yet I don't seem to see any sign of like a mission mode reaction to what has happened.
No, with BMC I have seen one thing, that they immediately resist. The moment you give them a good idea, they will resist. But if you give them an idea which has the potential to make hundreds of crores of rupees, something simple solutions, they are least interested in. I have so many examples. And there is stubborn resistance to citizens' involvement. It's like, you don't teach us, we know what to do. BMC itself is like an octopus, I keep saying this. That one arm doesn't know what the other department is doing. The tree officer, most of them are good guys. They do visit these sites when this concrete work is going on. They tell the contractor, the people who are working, that पेड़ के पास इतना मिट्टी रखना करके. But they are not heard. The contractors has one counter argument that unless I show a flat, smooth surface, my bills won't be cleared, so I will not do that. You go and do what you want. And the tree officer, he is the low-ranking officer in the department. Given a chance, the BMC will scrap the tree department. It's a tree preservation authority. You tell me how many trees have they preserved. It has come to a stage where the government today, or the tree authority itself, admits there is no space to plant trees in Mumbai. So you let them keep chopping, and now you have factored in or pushed this idea into people's minds and made them accept that the trees of Mumbai will be compensated in Chandrapur and somewhere else in Palghar or wherever.
What is the role of the private builders and the massive rampant redevelopment that is happening? Has that affected trees as well?
Definitely, private developers see trees are in two areas. One are on the
Yeah.
roads, and one are in most of them are in private
Private land,
properties. Even today, much of it is in private property.
Yeah.
Now, if you see, all Mumbai was an industrial city, whether it was the mills or whether it was the
Port.
factory,
Yeah.
The belt from Ghatkopar to Thane,
Yeah.
right up to Wagle Estate. All these industries, MSD, GKW, Raleigh Wolf, Gabriel, Seba, all those companies, the factory automobile products of India, they had huge tree cover inside the premises because trees were natural to the working environment. The workers used to spend their lunch breaks resting under a tree or sitting somewhere and chatting, and those spaces are social spaces also. But when these trees were removed, they were never compensated because over a period of time, gradually the space which was supposed to be kept for compensatory afforestation started getting eroded. Even today, let me tell you that 3,500 acres of natural forest exist in Mumbai outside Sanjay Gandhi National Park and RA. We have studied that also. We put out a report, we gave it to every concerned official to take cognizance of it. Everyone said it's a great report, we will act on it, but till date, no. And all these forests are interestingly on private land. It's not on the government land. So when the developers are the traditionally son-in-laws of the government.
Yeah.
You come, what you
Well
want,
said.
sir.
That's a nice.
Yeah. So what do you, sir? What do you want? Please. Yes, we will do. We will dance for you. We will take what you want. 1,000 trees, no problem.
Mumbai's guardian minister is a builder.
He's a builder. What can be more
BJP
ironic?
MLA, Mr. Luda.
Yes. And so these builders get away by chopping away the trees. If you see on the Eastern Freeway, when you come, you will find a building with a podium on which there are big bottle palms in big flower pots. Those are also compensatory afforestation.
Are you serious?
Yes, for the trees which were lost. Okay. Now there is a beautiful stretch of road with beautiful trees on it even today, which are not concretized. This is below the freeway, starting from the ramp of the freeway at P. D. Miller Road and extends right up to Shivri. Now they are eyeing that stretch for another metro. All those trees will go away. It is like they look at the satellite map, they see trees, okay, this is the place to do what we want. The approach has always been remove the trees, eliminate it as much as you can. Now we have 7 lakh unsold houses. For whom are these houses being made? These are for investors. And now if the trees can go to MMR, the investors can also go to MMR. Yeah. Why are they scavenging on this city, which is on its last legs? There's no space. The quality of life in Mumbai is hopeless. Yeah. And you don't have any solutions for the daily problems of people. You're making life even worse when the air quality index is so bad.
One of the reasons that I heard people talk about was this groundwater depletion that was happening because of the large buildings that were coming up. Can you explain that connection to people?
That's two-way, because the building proposals, the new projects which are coming up depend on bore wells for their water. Now the trees keep the groundwater table up. Yeah. Once you remove them, the water starts dropping. Then plus you are extracting it. So what happens when you extract groundwater in a city like Mumbai is that the sea starts pushing into the aquifers. Your land start getting saline, your wells will get saline, your groundwater gets saline. When you start pumping saline water into your washrooms and toilets, your equipment starts getting corroded. So it is a chain reaction which these people are set off to. There is no stop and like, okay, this Mumbai city cannot carry any more load. Let's buildings who cannot arrange. And you for water, for example, you go to big societies in Mumbai, their main source is tanker water. Yeah. How can you allow buildings to survive on a particular mafia? It's a mafia because if they go on strike, there's no help. So you have created a crisis and you're continuing on that path instead of rectifying your ways.
You said that you went to that site in Chembur where that tree fell on the school bus. let's talk a little bit about that report, because that's become a little political. But I want to, because the mayor has rejected it, because the report seems to have said BMC really didn't have much to do with it, the contractor was responsible.
Whose contractor was it?
Exactly. So just tell us why that, what is the problem with that inquiry and what they found. See,
You cannot sit
yeah.
in judgment over a case against yourself.
Yeah, it's the report says that the tree was in the stormwater drain, obstructing the drain, so the possibility of water stagnating there could not be ruled out. I mean,
Now
that.
tell me, there was a way to counter this. Civil engineering has evolved to a level that you can literally construct anywhere and good stable constructions. I understand that when you're coming straight with your stormwater drain, you're finding a tree in its path, not one tree, thousands of trees. Okay, my science tells me that at that point, before it converges, it has to go on both ways, split into two, and continue on its path. Okay, and on the top surface, there you can use porous concrete, which is stable, which allows water to go in also. But the surface below has to have mud. But that designing also has to come in. You can have it. The British built all those roads.
Yeah.
But even when there was drain water had to be adjusted into their designs. So this could have been done. This was simply an exercise ki some politician who doesn't know his elbow from his knee has said, okay, how to make money, let's start concretizing. Because in our minds, vikas, development is concrete.
Yeah.
Without concrete, no development.
Yeah.
So that is where the fundamental approach is flawed. And these contracts are handled by people with no scientific base experience as far as ecology is concerned. They may be good civil engineers, but they are not environmental engineers. Why doesn't the BMC has an environment department? I wonder what are they doing? Are they consulted? If they are, then they should take accountability. Okay, and they should bring on record what they had suggested and what was done. A contractor is a representative of the BMC. There is no differentiation between the two.
Yeah.
If someone gets killed or gets injured, the liability lies on BMC and not on the contractor. How to recover that money from the contractor or how to penalize him, that is BMC's business. But don't tell people that it is not our responsibility. You sent that person down on ground. You paid him from our money.
Yeah.
And now when it comes to taking the blame, no, I'm not concerned. How can it be?
So the mayor, this new mayor, Ritu Friday, she's rejected it, this report. Do you see anything come out of this, or you feel this is just some smoke and screen?
Dislike as much as we may about the political class, but this outburst or rejection from the mayor is understandable because that is basic human response. With someone with basic sense would tell the same thing, that what you are saying is wrong, the tree will not fall. Fortunately, I'll share this with you. I have managed to get a video of the old tree
before it fell.
So it was such a big tree and it was leaning. You should have understood that why is it leaning? It is trying to find some balance. It's not able to balance itself. And still they continued doing it. Why didn't they put out the photographs of the tree which was earlier?
Do you see this awful record that 2026 has seen when it comes to trees? Do you see this being some kind of wake-up call, turning point in the way our civic authorities will approach trees going forward, or you don't think so?
No, there needs to be a proper lawsuit against the BMC for this. And they need to really push hard and be penalized severely, that it becomes a deterrent against callous nature and negligence which they have exhibited. The insensitivity. Ideally, the municipal commissioner should have gone to the parents' house and said, we are sorry. We will see that this doesn't happen with any other children. But that requires humility and honesty. These are two virtues which you will not find in the ruling class today.
None of this you're saying is going to mean that the trees of Mumbai and therefore the people of Mumbai get a better approach, better policies on the tree front going forward?
We have enough laws. See, our law says it's a Tree Preservation Act. It's not the Tree Cutting Act. But our authority sits in judgment of only cutting of trees. So that they have forgotten their role. They need to have that voice, the veto, If there is anything which is going to hurt a tree coming up, they should have the veto to say, no, this cannot be done. But today, like I said, the organizational structure is in such a manner that the tree officers are not in any position of power or to dictate or even suggest anything. That is the problem.
You mentioned it in passing a little while ago, which is the compensation. You know, that you're removing trees here, you plant them hundreds of kilometers away, and that is what we are seeing in the case of the mangroves, isn't
Yes,
it? And
yes,
that is a big battle that
yes,
is being fought right now.
yes.
Where are we on that?
45,000 mangroves
Yeah.
were being cut down for creating a coastal road. What is this coastal road going to do? Is it going to solve Mumbai's commuters' problems? No. Who travels from Warsaw to Bhayandar? Who travels? I haven't come across anyone. Okay, like if you ask that who travels from CST to Karjat, you will say, okay, I know thousands and thousands of people or lakhs of people travel. But you can't say the same for Warsaw to Bhayandar. There is mischief in this entire process. The road is actually from Kolaba to Danu. If they come up honestly and say this is a big road, we will be cutting say lakhs of trees and lakhs, and it might not pass muster. So what they're trying to do is split it up into smaller sections and come to the court and say it is in utmost national importance. This is a symbol of progress. Without this, the city will collapse. You know, like when Metro 3 was made, the city's air will be pure, it will have lower temperatures, no traffic. Now, sorry, with no disrespect to the judiciary, you people, the learned, respected judges, have seen enough of life. Why do you allow yourselves to get carried away with propaganda and false declarations? Here we have a case where the institutions have failed the people and they have failed the environment. People are not fighting, the environment is fighting to save itself. The environment doesn't need us, we need it. And everyone in Mumbai, it's like Mumbai doesn't matter. Remove everything, make it something which is completely 100% concrete and say that we've developed, then they will pull down those buildings. Have you ever thought this redevelopment process which is going on, 20 years from now, where will all this debris go?
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for the future? It's a one-way street we have entered. And it suits the government to keep the large section of the population busy trying to survive and reach to work and get back home. So that's why they will not do anything for the masses. A few people, handful of people fighting, that's what we see today.
It's like almost a motley bunch of assorted, it's like an assorted bunch
Correct.
of people with different professional skills and qualifications that have come together to try and get the city's administration to open its eyes and see what's happening, right?
We've been trying to open their eyes, but in Marathi there is a proverb which says that you can awaken someone who's sleeping, but not someone who pretends to sleep.
Yeah, you say it in Marathi. It'll
झोपलेला माणसाला जागवणं हे सोपं आहे, पण झोपचं सोंग करणाऱ्याला उठवणं म्हणजे हे जरा अवघडच आहे, होणारच नाही, अशक्य आहे. हे सोंग करतायत झोपेचं. And there's few people we are fighting. You mentioned about the mangroves. I was surprised when the government came to court and said that we have planted 1,31,000 mangroves in Bhayandar. We work in the mangrove section, so we knew that there is not enough space in Bhayandar. So we did our research and we went on ground. There is no space for it. They were just made narrow channels and put some sticks there, propagules, and said we have done 1,31,000. That it was never done. We showed that almost all of it was dead. Then they went around in damage control mode, and then they said, no, we are, along with this, we are doing 3 times more in Palghar. Now that argument also is flawed because Palghar is going to be Mr. Adani's playground. His port is going to ruin every bit of open space in Palghar. Green space, open space, mangroves, forests, everything is going to be decimated. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to fool the people that, okay, from here it's gone just to Bhayandar. Then from Bhayandar it's gone to Palghar. From Palghar it will go to Danu. And from there to Timbuktu. Just forget about it. That's the process which is being done. It is a deliberate fraud being played out. What are we doing? We are saying that you do proper mitigation. You come, be accountable. Say we are destroying it and do visible mitigation and honest mitigation. So our fight now in the High Court is that this mitigation has to be done 100%, because the claims which had come, and they were saying that we will do an excellent job, we will make sure that it is more than compensated, we will put money into it, everything, nothing. It's all an eyewash. If you read the EIA report, mercifully, first time we saw a good EIA report. Though we don't really see eye to eye with consultants and who make those EIA reports, because they're making it for the project proponents. At least the scientific part is correct in that EIA report. What they have said is that making this Warsaw-Bhayandar coastal road will increase the land prices in Bhayandar. What is the Mumbaikars need today? Is it the real estate of Bhayandar, or is it our survival in this city?
Yeah.
And don't call it development, okay? You just say that it's real estate construction, you're going to benefit a lobby and you want to provide the amenities. Be honest. See, we can't do anything. We are stuck in a democratic, so-called democracy, where our voices are not heard. We can only talk. No, everyone ignores our voice. Those who are supposed to take action don't take action. Institutions are compromised. People's morale is down. In such a situation, how much do you fight? So our job is to try and protect whatever little fragments of biodiversity exist and hand it over to the next generation. Okay, we try to save, we've got this saved, try and protect it. But the government, let me tell you, it works so in such an evil way that the moment you protect something, they find some ways to come in from some other way. The best way to destroy,
Can you illustrate that?
The best way to destroy any forest, any ecosystem, is to make a road near it. And show that road as being of national importance. Everything is in national importance except conservation.
Yeah.
I am yet to see this statement come out from anywhere. Conservation is more important. Okay, we hear good remarks from the judiciary. Very few judges put it into their orders. Nobody wants to hurt or displease the government. That is the problem.
Today.
Today.
And this is something that is more so in the past decade.
Yes. Last 12 years have been the worst in Indian history for the environment. Show me one law which was made by this ruling party to save the environment. You take up the laws, let's say Environment Protection Act, Indian Forest Act, Forest Conservation Act, Air Act, Water Act, Wildlife Protection Act. Name it, the Biodiversity Act. Everything was brought in by the previous governments. What did this government bring in? The Jana Vishwas Bill.
Which is
the Jana Vishwas Bill is a license and promise of immunity from prosecution for those who destroy the environment. It puts a price on the environment, removes the criminality in it. Okay, tomorrow I can go and fill up a pond which is meant as sole water supply for that village, build something on it, and I say, take this money, go to hell. That is what this government has brought in. You may have political ideologies, religious ideologies, but religion again is closely linked to nature.
Absolutely.
Conservation is worship. Standing in front of an idol and saying the prayers is not worship. It has to come into action. You believe God created everything, then do what is your job is to protect. You can't do that. Then you don't call yourself religious.
We only focused on human life in our conversations. I mean, these trees that have fallen, which is how we've begun this conversation. I mean, there were birds and insects and a whole lot of life that they supported.
See, we don't have an ecosystem sensitivity or approach. The animals and the birds and the insects that share this planet with us, we also have a responsibility as a caretaker towards them. We are running away from that responsibility. I don't think Nasik is an island like Maldives where there's no space for the sadhus to sit. Sadhus always sat under trees and worshipped and said their prayers. You create buildings there and say sadhus are going to occupy rooms there. It is sacrilege. It is not religion. It is only and only the greed to make money. Thing is that you need to cut off all these things. This access to illegal money. How is illegal money generated? Only by destroying nature. You see the amount of illegal quarries and mines which are going on in the state. It's horrifying. Around 6 months ago, the Maharashtra government, after we had submitted a lot of proof about illegal quarrying, they issued a circular that all the quarries must be scanned or studied, surveyed using satellite imagery and on-ground drone shooting, etc. and come back and tell us what's the situation. Not a single collector has started because that will open a Pandora's box. The revenue department has made most of its illegal money through such activities. And sadly, our politics is closely interlinked with illegal money.
Yeah.
So to generate that illegal money, politicians and the bureaucrats and corrupt officials close ranks and allow it to continue. Everyone is having a field day except the environment and the poor who depend on it.
If you assume that somebody in the administration, in the absolute highest echelons of power, wants to listen, what would you say? And start small, which is that Mumbai's trees, we've lost 1,800 trees, you said. What can we do to ensure we don't lose more?
I've had a chance to meet the second in commands of some of the officials in the government hierarchy. There are some very good officers, young officers who have a vision, who understand these technicalities. They need to be empowered. You can't concentrate power in one person's hand and make sure that all the files have to reach your table and you will be doing only one person in any department. That is a wrong approach. You need to delegate more power and empower the people who are the rightful stakeholders, or I would say the people who are going to take the blame ultimately, who are responsible. You need to empower them. You can hold them accountable if you give them the power and responsibilities put together. So that should happen. We should have an environmental what do you call it, cell which tackles Mumbai's environmental problems, and their decisions must be final, and that should consist of scientists, environmentalists, and bureaucrats who understand these issues, and their decision in a controversy should be held final. Not every battle should go to court. Going to court is the most painful experience you can undergo. It's not easy. There are battles like the Kanjurmarg dumping ground, which we started in 2009, and we told it will become a mess, it will become a rotting hell for people around it, it will not be handled properly. Nothing was heard. 16 years later, the court gave a verdict which was stayed in 30 seconds by the Supreme Court, which does not bother to hear it again. So it is not something which any Indian should be happy with. See, NGT is a body which is technically and judicially equipped to handle environmental cases. Their decision should not be stayed by people who don't understand it.
Yeah. And that's what's happening.
That's what's happening. Almost 80%, 90% of the NGT's decisions are stayed in the Honorable Supreme Court. If there is a scientific basis to it, I can understand. But for God's sake, forgive me for speaking my mind. Don't give us this rhetoric that nation must progress, sustainable development is the need of the hour, some loss will happen to the environment. These terms are simply infuriating. And this happens day in and day out in the courts. You stand there like criminals. What are we saying?
For getting in the way of...
Getting in the way. In fact, in the last appearance in this mangrove matter, the BMC's counsel is saying this applicant must not be allowed in this matter.
Wow.
Why? You point out what is wrong in what we have said. You fight us on merit, you fight us on science, you fight us on law. Don't fight us, hitting below the belt. So this attitude to see people who give you positive suggestions and who want to really see the actual meaning of sustainable development executed, you exempting them from the complete process.
What should the lessons from the 2026 experience be for the BMC?
Simple. First, start with prevention of further tree loss. Don't give permissions to cut trees in the city. If the tree is cut in that place, it has to be planted in that place, not in Palghar or Chandrapur. Okay. Now imagine the mangroves of Mumbai being substituted in Chandrapur. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's completely defies logic.
Yes, it's equivalent to I giving you a 100 rupee note and saying go work on this, you can become another Ambani.
Yeah.
It's as ridiculous as that. It doesn't work in practical purposes. So it's foolish kind of trade-off. That trade-off has to stop now. Secondly, you have to treat the trees as living entities and make sure you can improve the tree cover. It can't be the case that only Sanjay Gandhi National Park and RA Colony are left for the Mumbai citizens. So we need to keep those green spaces inviolate. Third, for a tree plan has to be there. There, like I said, the 2-meter tree basin completely with the connection to the earth to be made and maintained. Okay, how many times have you seen the trees being watered? Tell me. In this city, how many times have you seen the trees on the roadside being watered?
No, they're not.
They are not. In summer also you don't do it.
I've
You are
seen-
collecting a tree cess from people.
Yeah.
It is to protect the trees. So where is it going?
3 things they should do between now and the next monsoon that will stem this kind, that will prevent a repeat of the kind of loss we saw this year.
So like I said in the beginning, to revive each tree is going to be a very intense, resource intensive exercise, and BMC will not have the will to, they don't have the will, they will not do it. But having said that, just near the tree which is going to die in any case, it's like you plant another one, but with this proper specification. That can exercise has to start today, because if you start today, in the 6 months that come down before next monsoon, you have a sapling which will grow fast. And the saplings need to be reasonably tall. Okay, and in say 3 years time, the trees will have some kind of recovery. The tree cover will recover in a better way, and involve the local people into it, local organizations into it. Don't work in isolation, because unless people feel a sense of ownership, they will not do it. That interaction has to happen. They have to have more meetings. Every ward has a college.
Yeah.
You can interact with the academics there, and they will allot the students who will help you with your work. Everything cannot be standard. Appoint consultant, 50 crores, 100 crores for the consultant, then tender another 2,000 crores, then delay the work, then make it 5,000 crores.
Correct.
This has to stop.
Well, Stalin, we'll keep talking.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
whether people will listen and act is something that we can just keep giving them things to talk to act on, right, and to understand. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having this conversation.
It's
Thank you.
always a learning experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much.